Barbadians, as we attempt to put our economy back together, government faces a chronic shortage of finance for the multi-million-dollar projects that are greatly needed to be able to revitalize our economy. The option of a post-pandemic reconstruction of the Barbados economy and society may differ from that of other small island developing states. But at large, all governments face a challenge of developing economic policy to revitalize their economic and social sectors. In the revitalization of the economy onto a more sustainable path that is, both regional and international cooperation is greatly needed as we move forward in these uncertain times. If you look at Barbados' economic and investment policies, there's a clear void for the facilitation of a more robust investment culture in Barbados. And this may very well be the light in the darkness of the COVID pandemic. And this report highlights where attention is needed in the country's infrastructure and basic innovation within these listed areas can see Barbados unlocking economic growth in the short to medium to long term. Renewed growth in the Barbados economy depends on the removal of complex and antiquated processes within government's administrative process. Poorly performing government departments, state-owned corporations, and agencies are in need of much reform. They stand in the way of new projects and new innovations within the public and private sectors. And the reasons for slow implementation may vary, but they always almost relates to some type of failure within the public sector. A makeover of the public services is greatly needed sooner rather than later to raise the standards of that of the US, the UK, and Canada, where our public servants are internationally competitive. Our public service needs to bid on contracts internationally where it earns foreign exchange and it becomes a contributor to government's finances. If we look at the financial incentives and how we treated financial incentives in the past, the Fiscal Incentives Bill paved the way for great foreign direct investment to come into Barbados, but that was yesteryear. In accommodating the OECD and their recommendations, Barbados repealed the Fiscal Incentives Bill. Low tax regimes are constantly under attack from the OECD, and a greater competitive package is needed within the regulations, of course, where Barbados can have a sustained approach to attracting foreign direct investment through a more financial encouragement. The Prime Minister announced her intention to bring an industrial policy on April 11th. This is now August, and we have not seen the light of day as it relates to the industrial policy. And the state has recognized the importance of cash flow and revenues, and therefore the state must divest its interest in mature industries of the Barbados economy. A move away from tourism, not wholeheartedly, but to divest some stake in tourism, is a very important point going forward in a Barbados reconstruction plan. The acquisition of equity in some profitable ventures by the state and full nationalization of some sectors to keep our social element intact. Research and development in the area of medicine, special and technical procedures, medical equipment, and disease control are very important areas Barbados can look to be able to achieve economic growth and strengthen our health sectors across Barbados and become the beacon of health and the provision of health services within the Caribbean region. If you look at investment into the shores of Barbados, it is very important to achieve a sense of sustainability based on the trajectory that our economy is heading. We'll look at investment policy and how best investment policy can be used. We need to take a look at technology. We need to take a look at mobilizing people, mobilizing savings, so that we can transcend into a 21st economy, because Barbados is lagging behind globally. Barbados, the need for investment and jobs is very pivotal to our survival going forward. And on April 11th, the Prime Minister of Barbados made a speech surrounding her intention to establish a Jobs and Investment Council, reflective of the social partnership which included former ministers of finance. For those who may not know, the Investment Council was structured on 8 premises. Premise 1, industrial transformation headed by the late Honorable Owen Arthur. 2, services and the creative economy headed by Professor Eugene Barreto. 3, housing and infrastructure headed by Tony Hoyers. Retail and commerce headed by Derek Foster. Securing food for every table headed by John Rogers. Trade and logistics headed by the former Minister of Finance, Christopher Sinclair. Financing and insurance headed by Doddridge Miller. And on these 8 premises was the establishment of the Jobs and Investment Council to help resuscitate the Barbados economy. The Jobs and Investment Council met on May 19, 2020, a Tuesday, and all final reports were expected to be handed in by the end of May, with practical suggestions on the survival, transformation, and reconstruction of the Barbados economy in light of the COVID pandemic. Now, with the reshuffling of the cabinet and the removal of the creative economy as a standalone ministry, the Prime Minister must now make the findings of the creative sector prepared by Professor Eugene Barreto public, so Barbados may join the conversation of a creative services economy and the role it may play going forward in our economic survival. With the massive void left on the council with the passing of the former Prime Minister Owen Arthur, may God rest his soul, the question must be asked, who is filling this large void to create 20,000 jobs in the Barbados economy in the medium term? This is a mammoth task, and more information is needed as to how Barbadians can play a role in their own development. And we're asking the Prime Minister of Barbados to be more open on the Jobs and Investment Council so that Barbados can contribute their ideas. With the recent report of the Governor of Central Bank of Barbados, we can clearly see that our economy has taken a beating, and our major source markets are not doing so well either. The UK has contracted by 21%, and the US has contracted by 9%. These are worrying figures for a small open economy like Barbados and for small open economies in the region who are heavily dependent on foreign exchange and tourism as their main earner. Now, there will be nothing available to us immediately to replace that loss, so therefore any plans we come up with must include survival and internal sustainability immediately. Then we can plan for the medium and long term after. Investment into Barbados has now become very risky, as globally persons are going to hesitate to spend money in these uncertain times. So I am hoping that the Prime Minister in her new throne speech whenever Parliament resumes has an economic reconstruction plan for Barbados and how we can move forward keeping our social services intact. I also look forward to a greater mix of locals and increasing local production in the Barbados economy, mixed with less reliance on tourism. Greater innovations are needed to attract foreign direct investment in Barbados, and we need to place a heavy focus on our investment policies and being able to attract foreign direct investment into Barbados, as multilateral borrowing is not enough to suffice the development that we urgently need in Barbados. My name is Kemar Stuart, and I am the president of the Young Democrats. Thank you very much.